Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 24, The Avon Emerald, starring Roger Moore and Hazel Court. And in my opinion, the most interesting thing about this episode, The Avon Emeralds, is a chance to see Roger Moore in an earlier role quite a bit of time before he was James Bond. As for anything else noteworthy about this episode, I can't really say in my opinion there was. It's a pretty average episode all the way around. So we start with this Inspector Benson and a man named Sir Charles, and they're talking. It looks like in an office, and we learn about this lady Gwendolyn and that she's a widow at a young age. And Sir Charles' concern is that she has this necklace that is going to be worth a lot of money, and he's basically worried that she's going to try and smuggle it. And he puts Benson on this case. He says, "You're to follow her and make sure this necklace doesn't leave the country." And so he's on the case. So at this time, Benson is on the case for these emeralds, and there's a lot of people watching. But none of these suspects really mean much to the plot, honestly. They're kind of just there. So a man inspects the emeralds for Benson and says they're definitely the real thing. So in the next scene, we meet this lady Gwendolyn, and she's talking to her Aunt Catherine before she's interrupted. Basically, Benson is outside, and he says this man that was serving the room service is some kind of thief. So at this point, the man, I believe, that owns the hotel in Benson, they kind of plead with Gwendolyn to keep these emeralds, the necklace, safe, but she says no. I'm not too worried about too much security on them. So in the next scene, Benson and Charles are talking again, and we eventually find out the emeralds were stolen. So I guess maybe she should have kept them a little safer. But this all makes sense by the end of the episode when we get to the twist. So at this time, Benson's questioning Lady Gwendolyn again. He basically gets nowhere, but he does learn that her aunt left the country for France. So at this point, Benson and his associate are watching Lady Gwendolyn as she's getting ready to leave the country and go visit her aunt. And they also have this man's painting searched, which was a very odd scene that really didn't lead anywhere. I think this was here for humor, but I didn't totally get it, to be honest. It was just kind of a strange scene. And then we get this bizarre adventure music as the plane is in the air, which was really great. Didn't really fit the episode, but it kept me awake, so it was fine, I guess. So then Benson and he meets this new inspector from France. I guess he's working on the case from that end. And they're talking about the case, but the French inspector basically tells Benson there's nothing he can do because this lady didn't really do anything that bad. If all she's trying to do is avoid paying taxes or something, she can't really be detained. Again, this was kind of strange. This is kind of an odd episode tone-wise, but I guess you just got to kind of go with it. So at this point, it looks like Benson's out of luck, and we go to the next scene, and Lady Gwendolyn's counting all this money, like $250,000, I believe, which is still a decent amount of money, actually. And it looks like she's trying to sell these emeralds off. And then Benson comes out, and it looks like he's helping her out, and we find out they were in on it together the whole time, which is an okay twist, typical for Alfred Hitchcock Presents. It also kind of comes out of nowhere with no real clues, unless I miss something. But it's fine. Overall, I just thought this was an average episode. Like, the plot is okay, especially if you like those older type Sherlock Holmes type feeling stories from the 50s and 60s. But the characters aren't really all that interesting, and I didn't really care about them all that much. But the acting is pretty decent, and Roger Moore and Hazel Court do what they can with kind of an average script, in my opinion. So overall, I'm going to give the Avon Emeralds a 2.5 out of 5. Just an average episode, in my opinion. But fans of Roger Moore or Hazel Court might want to check it out. So 2.5 out of 5 for the Avon Emeralds. And as always, thank you very much for watching.